Hello everyone, this is Priyanka. Welcome to my channel Priyanka's IT School. Today I'm sharing fifth tutorial on software testing, that is Fundamentals of Software Testing Part 2. In this tutorial, let's understand some more fundamental aspect of software testing. Software testing is a process of identifying defect from software application, and defect is a difference between expected and actual result of software. But the question is why there are defects in software. So there are some common reasons available which introduce defects in a software. Guys, software development is nothing but there are n number of people will be involved during the process, and they have to communicate with each other exactly the same way as per the requirement. While developing software application, the project team faces multiple challenges. Okay, so multiple challenges in different phases. So team can commit some error while performing their respective tasks. So let's understand common problem as per SDLC phases, that is software development phases, life cycle phases. Very first we have requirement gathering phase. So in this, if requirements are unclear or requirement get frequently changed by the client, then issues would be as the developed functionality is not available completely or not as per the user expectation. Then in design phase, if design is a poor, let's say due to some software architecture complexity or design complexity, then issues arises in application in design or as per design will not support growing or changing business need. In development stage, if the required skill and required resources are not available, then coding tasks won't be up to the mark and lead to and it will definitely lead to incorrect working of program or code. At testing stage, if the required application knowledge is not available, also if the time for testing is limited, then application issues won't get detected during testing. So let's talk about deployment phase. So deployment stage, if in that stage wrong setup and the application environment is not up to the mark as per the user, then it will definitely cause application outage, slowness and complexity to the user. During maintenance stage, if changes in requirement or code are continuous, then earlier available feature won't work later or will be partially available for the user. So there are some common reasons, that is incorrect requirements, poor design, poor coding, lack of skill testers, software complexity, changing requirements, miscommunication or no communication between the team. So a solution for this is software testing. We need to test software application before this defect are seen by the end user. So the question is when to start software testing. Let's see some examples, let's see some scenarios and understand the concept that when we need to start entire software testing process. So see, there are four scenarios available. Let's talk or let's start with this first scenario. Scenario number one, or this is my requirement number one. So if requirement is correct and then design team prepare design as per the requirement and development team develop the application as per design, so after testing product will be definitely correct product, right? So in second scenario, let's see, if requirements are correct, design as per the requirement, but if mistakes made are in development, then definitely in testing we'll find coding related defects. Agree? Then requirement number 3, or this is scenario number 3. So if requirements are correct but mistakes are made in design and developer develop the application as per design, then definitely in testing we'll find a design related defect, right? But in requirement number 4, if requirements are incorrectly gathered and based on requirement design development completed for that entire software, then in testing it will definitely, it will pass all the testing, but the product may be rejected by the client or we can say a customer, right? So the objective of tester is not only to identify defect but get those defect fixed by development team. Can I say finding defect and fixing defect both are important. Now see, one more important thing here. So the when we can start entire testing process, we should start testing as early as possible in a software development life cycle. So early testing, right, which is nothing but early testing. Now let's understand objective of early testing. Exactly, like what are the other factor which impact, which definitely impact on this entire concept. So early testing, why we need to do early testing? Let's see. Suppose this is the x-axis and which defines duration or time as per the SDLC, and second I have y-axis which is defined cost. So whenever we found any defect in application, okay, what we need to do, we need to find the defect and we need to fix the defect. So as per the duration, if we got any defect late in the life cycle, then automatically fixing cost of that defect get increased. Okay, so can I say as per the defect ratio, if defect ratio is a high, then it is and if it is found late in the life cycle, definitely is cost of the defect get increased, right? So early testing is important, right? So can I say testing should start as early as possible in the life cycle, because as per the defect, when we found some defect, we need to fix it, and definitely while fixing, cost of the testing also get calculated here. So the cost of defect get increased if we found a defect later stages in our STLC cycle. Okay, so early testing helps team to identifying issues early in the life cycle, right? And we can say minimizing the risk also. So the earlier you found a bug, it is cheaper to fix it, right? So tester task is to find defect as early as possible, report those defect and checking correction done for those defect, that is retesting. So where we can say that we need to test or we need to confirm that defect get fixed by development team is correctly fixed or not. And after fixing and after change, every change in the software application, tester is responsible to check side effect of fixing. That is all about regression testing. Now let's understand as per the early testing, what is economics of software testing. Economics of software testing, it is all about when to stop entire testing process. See guys, testing should be stopped when it meets the exit criteria. Exit criteria which describes enough testing to be done. Unlike when to start testing, it is very difficult to determine when to stop testing, because testing is a never ending process, right? No one can say that on any software is 100% tested. So to meet exit criteria, we should focus on some aspect. Example, testing deadline, completion of test case execution, test budget and schedule constraint, then bug rate fall below acceptable level or below certain level, and no high priority bug identified by the application. So let me explain this concept with some kind of graphical design. Let's see. Suppose here I have a duration. Okay, x-axis describes the duration and y-axis here which represent quantity of defect. Okay, so this is all about the quantity. Now see, in application if we have this much of quantity, okay, so what is the role? We need to first identify the defect, right? Identify defect from software application and then we need to fix those defect. So as per the quantity, what is the role? We need to fix those defect. Agree? So the first process is fix those defect. Number of defect once you found, what we need to do, we need to fix those defect, or we need to get them fixed, all those defect by the development team. But as per fixing process, okay, as per the fixing process, as per the life cycle of SDLC, what happened? Automatically, yes, automatically the cost of testing get increased. Okay, cost of testing here is nothing but efforts required to conduct testing activity. So where to stop testing? See here, if we stop testing here, then it is considered to be under testing. If we stop testing here, then it is considered to be over testing. Then where to stop testing? We can't stop testing or we can't perform testing for under testing activity, or let's say for over testing activity. Then we require some balancing, right? Balancing point. Can I say we require this intersect point, and this point is nothing but optimum point, okay, or optimal point. Now see, what is exactly this optimal point? We require this balancing point because see, complete testing is not possible, right? So here you can see it is gap, I mean gap is provided here. Why it is so? Because 100% testing is impossible. Okay, so complete testing is not possible, and neither it is possible to get entirely defect free software. Therefore it is important to find this optimum level of testing, right, to be conducted for a given project. So here we have seen that number of defect get decreased as per the duration. Then due to the multiple round of testing conducted, or let's say subsequent defect fixing, but the same time cost of testing, that is nothing but efforts, get increased. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to identify, we need to stop, identify this balancing point, and at this balancing point we can stop entire software testing activity. Now the concept is, what is this optimal point? Optimal point is a point where we can stop testing to balance risk and the cost of testing. Okay, so this topic is very much important because it's completely depend on the exit criteria which is defined by the client and the management, or which is decided by the management. So let's understand now participants involved in software testing. See, testing is conducted by most of the member from the project team, and during different phases of SDLC, of course. So the purpose and the type of testing conducted by them, these are different based on their role, right? So let's understand participant. Business analyst, let's see, BA ensures implementation of all business requirements, right? Then technical architect, which checks correctness of implemented architecture and the technology used. Then development team is responsible to test entire program or developer, or we can say implemented logic. And developer is also involved in a debugging process, right? We have seen that. Then testing team is responsible to test software application for all its functional, non-functional, that is a quality attribute of the software or requirements. And customer or end user also involved to test application functionality as per their expectation. So can I say guys, every person who is involved in STLC, they can perform testing. But software tester is responsible for testing as he possesses the required skill, right? So let's understand what are the different skills required to become good tester. Very first, technical skill. Technical skill set contains basic knowledge around database, operating system, Unix, Linux, then knowledge and hands-on experience on automation tool. Second is analytical skill. A good software tester should have sharp analytical skill, which will helps to break up complex software into a smaller unit to gain better understanding about the system. Then third one is communication skill. A good software tester must have good verbal and written communication skill. Software tester is responsible to prepare testing artifacts. Testing artifacts, see, artifacts are nothing but documentation. So tester is responsible to prepare some testing related documentation, that is testing artifacts. As example, test cases, test scenario, test plan, defect report, these are the testing artifacts. Now attitude. To be a good software tester, yes, of course, you must have great attitude, and attitude to test break, right? Test to break, that means tester has always highlight defects in software application, right? Then about the passion, of course tester should be passionate about his work. And next is a productive. So let's see, software tester should always keep upgrading his skill set, which in return help him to be more productive, right? So this is all about the skill required for tester or to become good tester. So that's all for this video guys. Please do subscribe and like my videos. Thanks for watching.